Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into a really cool case study. We're going to look at how one company is completely changing the game for its maintenance engineers by building its very own private, super smart AI. So let's start with this number, 20 minutes. What if I told you that's the average time a highly skilled, highly paid technician wastes just looking for one single piece of information in a manual? Think about that. That's time they should be spending actually fixing critical machinery. This one single pain point, well, it's the spark that ignited this entire project. And, that little pain point, it's really just the tip of the iceberg. For so many technical companies out there, the real issue is that they are literally drowning in their own data. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because they broke the problem down into 4 big headaches. First, the sheer scale of the data. We're talking over 500,000 pages of technical manuals scattered all over the place. I mean, good luck finding anything in that. Second, and this is a huge one, you can't just feed this sensitive, confidential data to a public AI like ChatGPT. The security risk is just way too high. Third, there's that wasted time we just talked about, which adds up to a massive loss in productivity. And finally, the old school way of solving this, buying a huge, powerful GPU server, is just crazy expensive.
But the problem goes even deeper than just finding a PDF. It's about people, a company's most valuable knowledge, its institutional memory, literally walks out the door every single time an experienced engineer retires. This is about stopping a catastrophic brain drain. So the real question becomes, how do you capture all that wisdom before it's gone forever?
And that question leads us directly to this incredibly elegant solution. Instead of sending their precious data out into the cloud somewhere, they decided to bring the AI right inside their own walls. The magic behind all of this is a technology called Retrieval Augmented Generation, or RAG for short. Now, to put it simply, instead of just letting the AI make stuff up, what we call hallucinating, RAG basically forces it to do its homework first. It has to go find the actual facts from the company's own documents, and only then can it use that verified information to give you a perfectly accurate answer. It's like an open book test for the AI. So, what does that actually look like? Well, this diagram shows the 2 main steps. First, there's this offline or setup phase, where the system basically reads, digests, and organizes every single company document. Think of it as building the library. Then there's the runtime phase. That's when a user asks a question, and the system instantly finds the exact right page in that library to answer it. This whole process is what guarantees you get the right answer every time. And this, right here, is the absolute game changer. The single biggest win of this whole approach, 100% data sovereignty. Because the entire system runs on a local machine, right there in their office, nothing ever leaves the building. No sensitive data, no secret repair manuals, not even the questions your engineers are asking. It is a completely private, air-gapped corporate brain. Okay, so how did they actually build this thing? You're probably picturing a giant, humming, power-guzzling server farm in a basement somewhere, but as you're about to see, modern hardware has totally flipped the script. I mean, just check out this comparison. It is night and day. The old way meant a super complex, super expensive GPU server that could cost over 30 grand, not to mention the special cooling and power it needed. The new way, a quiet, sleek, powerful little desktop that costs less than $10,000 and just sits on a desk. It's all thanks to the incredible efficiency of new chips like Apple's Silicon. And here is the exact recipe they used. The hardware was a Mac Studio with the M4 Max chip. For the AI brain, they used a tool called Llama to run a massive 70 billion parameter model locally. The library is a special kind of database called a vector database, in this case, ChromaDB. And it's all optimized using Apple's own MLX framework. But here's the best part. Almost all of the core software is open source. You know what that means? 0 recurring license fees. Ever. And this wasn't some endless science project with no finish line. No way. They had a super clear 23-week roadmap, from setting up the hardware in the first month to feeding it all the data, all the way through testing and the final go-live date. This was a real-world, achievable, well-managed project. Okay, so now for the big question. The part everyone really cares about. Did all this tech and planning actually pay off? What were the results? Oh yeah, it worked. And how? This one chart pretty much tells the whole story. the time it took to find critical info plummeted from that painful 20-minute average all the way down to just 5 seconds. 5. That isn't just an improvement, that is a complete transformation of their workflow.
And what about accuracy? Over 90%. And here's why that's so important. Because the AI's answers are directly grounded in the company's official manuals. It's often more reliable than a human engineer trying to remember something from memory, especially when they're under pressure.
All right, let's talk hard numbers, because this is just staggering. The initial investment for the whole system was around 330,000 Thai baht. That's less than 10,000 US dollars. But the calculated value of all the time they saved in just 1 year was nearly 800,000 baht. So here's the bottom line. The entire project paid for itself in less than 5 months. That is an absolutely insane return on investment. So this story is incredible on its own, right? But it's also a preview of something much, much bigger that's happening right now in how businesses think about AI. I just love this quote. Local language models mark a return to self-determination in the digital world. What that really means is, instead of shipping our most valuable asset, our data, off to some giant tech company's data center, we are finally getting the tools to take back control. And that's the real takeaway from all of this. This isn't just one company's cool project. It represents a fundamental paradigm shift. We're moving away from a world where we just rent access to someone else's AI in the cloud, and we're moving towards a world where we can own and control our very own intelligent systems, our own corporate brain. So, I'm going to leave you with one final question to chew on. Your company's collective knowledge, all of its experience, its data, its unique procedures, that is its single most valuable asset. So the question is, who do you want controlling its brain? You or someone else?